We've been married for 6 years. While pregnant with our third, I discovered my husband had been having a 4-month affair with my best friend. OP and her husband had been together since she was 19 and he was 22. Married for 6 years now with 2 kids, third baby on the way. She found out her dad has cancer. Her mother passed away when she was 12. OP's husband has been very supportive from day one and suggested that she step away from her job for a while to take care of her family. OP has her best friend who she knew since they were babies. Both families grew up together. After going to wake her husband up, she discovered her friend's text messages to him from his phone. Realizing it has been going on for 4 months that OP's husband and her best friend have been lying to her. She tries to figure out what to do next that she knows now about the affair. Update 1. OP spent a good amount of time gathering and documenting everything she has on her husband and her best friend. Used her dad's hospice care plan as a front cover so her husband doesn't know she knew. She is thinking about going back to work, but working with a lawyer first to get things in order should she move forward with the next steps of her life. Per her lawyer, OP doesn't have to worry about her inheritance from her parents, which her husband cannot touch. While her husband was at work, OP revealed what took place between her husband and best friends to their mothers, who are now upset about the whole incident. Met with the lawyer, OP gets her finances, logistics, and everything in order to make sure she is in a good position to go after her husband and best friend. Update 2. OP provides a quick summary on how things went so quickly in the last couple posts. She was able to meet with her OBGYN on the same day to get checked, all clear. Several more tests were done and waiting for the results to arrive. OP met with her lawyer to go over everything, including her husband's financial records that she got a hold of, to make sure her bases are covered. If everything goes well with what she got, OP should not have any problems with getting the divorce papers within a month. Angie and Ruth, MIL and ex-BFF's mothers, told OP what happened after both sets of parents confronted Tyler, ex, and Jess, ex-best friend. All 4 are very upset with both for the affair. Tyler and Jess have been cut off from their families. Tyler discovers OP has moved her stuff and their children's stuff to her dad's to get away. He went to look for OP, but she wasn't there. She left for her dad's cabin with her kids, now away and safe. Tyler gets arrested after trying to break into OP's dad's house, not cabin. OP had to get a therapy session in order to talk things out from her end and will set up therapy sessions for her children as needed. Per her lawyer, OP is now collecting all text messages from Jess, who told her to fix everything, especially her parents cutting her off. Blamed OP for stealing Tyler from her. Tyler has begged to reconcile, but OP isn't giving in. He doesn't know about the divorce papers yet until he would be served with them. OP suspected Tyler and Jess won't be staying together since their parents have confronted them. Jess's brother, Jake, is on leave from the military. He is stepping in to help OP and her family, per Angie and Bob. OP thanks the Redditors for the continuing support as she deals with the whole situation on Tyler and Jess. Update 3. Tyler finds OP's post and asked if she is serving him the divorce papers. OP said yes. He begs for forgiveness for his behaviors toward her. OP makes regular meetings with her lawyer to make sure she has everything as needed to make things smooth. Jake is doing great, being a great support system for OP and her children. OP's dad is not doing well, now in the hospital for a while. Kids are adjusting well, along with therapy already set up to cope with the unexpected events in their lives after moving away from Tyler. Still pregnant for a couple more months. Update 4. OP's dad has died. Her marriage ended in dissolution after Tyler found out about being served with the papers. Per her lawyer, the dissolution process was quickly and smoothly after Tyler gave OP everything she asked for in the prior divorce papers. OP has full custody of the kids with visitations for Tyler. Therapy is going on for OP and her kids. Still pregnant, but the baby is doing well. OP's ex-MIL, Ruth, and ex-BFF's mom, Angie, are helping her with the kids. All 3 women are on great terms with each other. Jake has gone back to his active duties but will be back to help OP and her family. Their friendship is going great and might be moving on to the next step, but Jake and OP are taking things slowly. Tyler and Jess are no longer together. He has left Jess, who has been blacklisted from her family after the blow-up. Update 5. Mill and Angie are taking turns spending the night and days with me for the first 6 weeks until we get acclimated. I told them they didn't have to, but they insisted. Honestly, I'm grateful for it. I can feel the waves of PPD trying to drag me under, and my mental health really hasn't been doing so well. Don't worry, my therapist knows and we're working through it. Knowing that this baby never gets to know and feel the love of my dad has really been hurting, and the fact that this is the only grandbaby he didn't get to meet. I miss him like crazy and wish he was still here. Jake was planning on staying in for another 2 years to retire, but they offered him early retirement. Not because of anything going on with me or this whole situation. There was a situation at work. He didn't do anything wrong, lol. So within the next 6 months he'll be moving back home. He's going to try house hunting and find a place before he comes home, but since he isn't allowed to take any leave during this time to view places since he has to work on his exit stuff, there's a chance he'll be temporarily living with me until he finds a place. No, he isn't moving in permanently, lol. He might even just get an apartment for a year and then buy a house. There's also some drama with Tyler already because he's pissed I wouldn't let him in the room when I had a baby. So if you want any more updates on that front, I'll provide when I'm not overwhelmed. Love you all, thank you all for being my ear when I need to vent and get everything off my chest. I hope all of your days are wonderful today and everything goes your way. Update 6, so if you read any of my previous comments you know that baby boy is here. He's honestly been the calmest newborn that I've ever managed. Hardly cries, is very content and happy all the time. He's been reaching all of his milestone markers, even hitting the ones that aren't on the premier scale. It's been such a relief and a blessing. The older two completely adore him and are of course eating up the extra attention they get from their grandparents. Yes, Angie and her husband are called grandma and grandpa as well. When I went into labor I had told Tyler that I was in labor, but I didn't want him at the hospital. It is his kid, so I was being courteous. He blew up on me for taking away his right to see his child be brought into the world. I simply turned off my phone to relax and de-stress. He actually showed up at the hospital and had to be escorted off the property by security. Not for being violent or anything, he just wouldn't leave after I had told the nurses. I delivered at the hospital I work at. I'm an RN. I didn't want him around. After that he hasn't been to a single visit to see the kids. I initially sent him pictures of the baby and updates, but he never responded and eventually blocked my number. After roughly a month I asked my FIL to reach out to him since no one had heard from him. My FIL actually showed up at Tyler's house to do a well check since I was concerned something was wrong. Even though I don't love him anymore, there is a piece of me that will always care for him as the father of my children. Turns out he has a new girlfriend and just isn't interested in being a dad anymore. He actually even denied paternity even though he's the only person I've ever been with physically. The kids are honestly and surprisingly okay with him not really being around. No, I didn't feel it necessary to tell them the harsh things he said. Jake has been completely amazing. He had my favorite food delivered to me at the hospital post-birth. FaceTiming me and texting me regularly. Chatting it up with the kids, hasn't been pushy on me at all. Has let me set the pace completely. Hasn't crossed any of my boundaries in the slightest. He actually booked me a surprise postnatal massage and arranged all of it, including childcare. It was the most relaxed I've felt in months. He sends little gifts and food to the house occasionally, especially on my hard days. Jake has truly been a breath of fresh air. He comes home in just over 3 months and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited. As for me, I've still been regularly attending therapy. It's really helped me cope and just in general become a better person and mother. I'm still devastated by my dad's passing and grief really loves to put a chokehold on me when I least expect it. Sometimes I just go sit in his office where it smells the most like him and cry. I was very blessed to have such a loving and amazing dad. Angie and MIL have truly been angels on earth. I cannot express how beyond lucky I am to have this amazing support system. Even Phil, Angie's husband, have been insanely supportive and kind. I would be lost without their unconditional love and support. As crazy as it sounds, I'm honestly unbothered by the divorce and Tyler not being around anymore. I think I'm more relieved than anything. My heart aches for my children, but IDK. I don't think I truly realized how long I was holding my breath and walking on eggshells in that marriage until I was in a space where I didn't have to anymore. My therapist and I really dug deep and took off the rose-colored glasses. In a weird yet awful way, I'm almost thankful I caught him cheating. I think that's why I was so calm and methodical during the leaving phase. I go back to work next week. I think I'm ready to find my new normal and get back into a routine. While my heart aches my dad isn't around to see it, I'm ready to unlock this next chapter of my life. Cheers to the chapter of healing, self-love, new beginnings, and finding peace within the chaos. Thank you for going through this journey with me, supporting me, sharing your stories with me, and just being here. Love you all, internet friends. I hope you have an amazing day. I'll update again when I can. Update 7. I come bearing some much anticipated news, but I'm going to breeze over a few things other people wanted to know before we get into the Jake update. A lot of people are wondering if Tyler is still to this day not seeing the kids. He isn't. He no longer responds to his dad, who was trying to be the middleman so he didn't have to communicate with me. He told his dad that his girlfriend made him choose and he's choosing her because I wouldn't go through her to communicate with him. Mind you, I don't even know who she is. I don't even know her first name, that's how much I don't know about her. I told him if he wanted to use a third party to communicate with the kids I would be completely okay with that, but not someone who is a stranger to me or the kids. We could use his aunt who has remained neutral during the divorce and all of this. It wasn't good enough for him or her I guess, so he decided to cut all contact. He didn't see the kids for Christmas or New Year. Shortly after the New Year is when he went full no contact. I'm managing the kids and working full-time as best as I can. I'm so grateful for all of the help I have. My MIL and Angie take turns watching the kids while I work, as they're both retired. More often than not I come home to a clean house, happy kids, and dinner on the stove. They truly are the biggest blessings. I'm giving a huge shout out to the single parents who do this completely on their own with no help from outsiders or the other parent, because I cannot fathom how much strength you've had to muster to do it alone. I've had quite a few people ask me if I'm religious. The answer is yes. I am a religious person, however. I will not now, nor ever judge anyone for who they are. Yes, that includes the girls, gays, and they. The people who were born in the wrong body. No one should ever be able to tell you who you are or who you love is wrong. I support and love everyone in all walks of life. You matter. Your religion or non-religion matters, even if it's not the same one I follow. Hell, I have friends who practice witchcraft and I love that they're so passionate about it and it makes them happy. I absolutely love that for them. The people who are taking away women's rights or rights of the LGBT community in the name of religion make me absolutely disgusted. I feel like I needed that disclaimer to be added because I don't want anyone to rope me into that category. I will also not be entertaining any religious debates. Argue with your mother, not me. Finally, on to Jake. We're dating currently. I use the air quotes because we've been going on dates and spending time together but aren't officially boyfriend and girlfriend, if that makes sense. He kissed me for the first time at midnight on New Year's. Cheesy? Yes. Did I still love it? Absolutely. I'm not ready to offer anything more right now. We have the occasional date night out, but a lot of our dates include things with the kids like movie nights, going to the park, spending time at the house playing with them. The kids adore him and he adores them right back. I have quite a few pictures of him holding the baby, trying to soothe him to sleep, and he winds up accidentally napping with the baby, lol. He's allowing me to completely set the pace. He's patient with me at all times. I honestly feel so lucky. I told Jake if he wanted to date other people he could, and he looked at me like I had slapped him and was adamant I would be the only woman he'd pursue. Sometimes I feel guilty that he's healing a heart he didn't break, but he never hesitates to remind me that he's in this completely and will wait forever if he has to. I waited so long to share this because I wanted his stamp of approval to continue to share what is quickly evolving into our love story. I allowed him to read my posts and everyone's comments. He might have gotten a little bit of a big head with how much everyone is Team Jake. He pokes fun at me for it and I love it honestly. This man is so funny without ever being mean. He even said, "It's a breath of relief to know your internet family approves of me." He did create a Reddit account to look at my posts with my approval. He'll likely mostly be a silent follower, but don't be surprised if he pops up in the comments occasionally, lol. Update 8. Can you believe that in less than 2 weeks it's been a year since I made my first post on Reddit the morning I discovered my ex-husband's affair? I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who has supported me on this journey. Y'all have been such a blessing. Whether it's for advice, kind words, or just a listening ear. I am so lucky to have developed my own little community here on Reddit. Now on to some updates. The Jake update will be at the end of the post if you want to skip to read that first. I know y'all are feral for it, lol. First things first, I meant to update sooner, but if you saw Jake's comment you know I was locked out of my account. Well, someone changed the password to my Reddit account and then the email to it as well. You'll never guess who it was. If you guessed Tyler, you'd be wrong. It was Jess. Let's rewind about a month ago. I'm cooking dinner for Jake and the kids while Jake is playing in my backyard with the kids. My front door opens and I figured it was one of my in-laws. They don't usually drop by unexpectedly, but Angie and MIL totally forgot the fake name I assigned to her. Both have a key to my house since they help me out so much. It's just easier that way. Imagine my surprise when I'm chopping up carrots to see Jess waltz into my kitchen. I simply pointed the knife at the door and told her to get the hell out of my house before I called the cops and pressed charges for breaking and entering and trespassing. I wasn't concerned with how she got into my house. I keep my doors locked 24/7. Call it paranoia if you will. I just wanted her out and would figure the rest out later. She started screaming bloody murder and was calling me psycho for threatening her with a knife. Jake heard the screams and rushed inside. His immediate response was to restrain Jess because he thought she was hurting me even though there was a solid 10 to 15 feet between us. He dragged her out of the house and told her to leave. She was screaming that she would ruin my life and all she was coming over to do was ask for forgiveness. Well, she called the cops on us and made up this elaborate story about how we lured her to my house to set her up, how I tried to stab her, and Jake was punching her repeatedly. She had zero proof and I have cameras hitting every angle of the outside of my house and in all of the main rooms in the inside of my house. Naturally, I just pulled up the footage and showed the cops and they left, taking her with them. Jake has spent the night at my house every night since then. Since then she has hacked into every single last one of my social media accounts, including Reddit. She posted some truly awful and hateful things on my Facebook and Instagram. I'm thankful she didn't manage to post anything on Reddit before I got it back. She spammed my job. I'm a nurse at our local hospital, with complaints and some truly awful fabricated stories about me. After a week of suspension to investigate, I was welcomed back after everything I told my boss and my boss's boss, HR, and everyone else above me proved to be true. I filed for a restraining order against her and my children when she tried to pick up my oldest from her school without anyone's knowledge. Thankfully, I already had a talk with the school about this and gave them a strict, only these people can pick up my child, everyone else you send away, call the cops, or whatever you need to do. When Tyler got violent in front of the kids a while back, and they escorted her off school grounds and kept her very close by for pickup until they saw me. Right now I got an emergency order approved but will have to go to court for a more permanent one within the next month. So I will let you know how that goes. She must have had a key from when we were growing up together or something because Angie and her husband have not spoken to her, nor has she had access to them or their home. I got the locks changed immediately. The Tyler update is that there is none. He still hasn't reached out to see his kids, hasn't asked about them. He's been a ghost. We were eating dinner with Jake about a week ago when my oldest quietly said she wished Jake was her dad, and that her real dad never played with them and was really mean when I wasn't home or looking. Which really just confirmed my fears. They were too accepting of him being gone and now I know why. I did learn through the grapevine, Mal and Phil, that he is already remarried and has another kid on the way. Mal told me they got a baby shower and wedding invite in the mail. Honestly, I feel bad for the new wife. The kids are truly just wonderful. Still in therapy, but the therapist has nothing but positive things to say after their sessions now. She did mention that my oldest brought up calling Jake dad, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. Jake has made it clear that once, yes he said once, not if, but once, we're married he fully intends to adopt the kids, but that is another conversation for another day, haha. I don't want to deter her from having a bond with him, but it still feels too soon, you know. My middle child seems to have forgotten Tyler completely and is my usual ray of sunshine. I've seriously never met a happier kid. The baby is babbling away, smiling and laughing now. Can y'all believe it? I'm truly blessed with such wonderful kids. Jake. Well, Jake is Jake, you know how that goes. Haha. No, seriously, I have never felt such happiness before. He was genuinely concerned at how many people were commenting asking if we were still together and told me you better update right now and tell them we're still together. I wish you guys could hear just how funny he truly is. I officially allowed him to give me the title of girlfriend, though he says I've been his girlfriend practically this whole time, haha. He has been sleeping over essentially every night. He says it's under the guise of being worried Jess might show back up, but secretly I think it's because he hates being away from the kids. Whenever he's at work or anywhere that isn't my house, he will text whoever is with the kids asking for picture updates of them and expresses how much he misses them. It's actually really sweet. He's been allowing me to set the pace still, just also helping give me a nudge when I need it. He's attended a few of my therapy sessions with me to help get a better understanding of what I need from him in terms of this relationship. Jake is honestly just everything I could have asked for. I'm lucky to love him. Update 9. I'm making this one quick and easy since it's the first break I've had from life and a busy schedule in weeks. I had my restraining order court date. If you're confused, read my last update. And while I didn't get approved for a permanent restraining order, I did obtain a 7-year one. Apparently in my state it's really hard to get a permanent restraining order unless I have tangible proof it's life or death. Everything I had on Jess wasn't enough for permanent. However, I am still content with this outcome. If she happens to still be a bother during or after the 7-year RO, I can take her back to court / have her arrested. With that being said, I think I'm letting the talks questions about Jess die here. I love relating to every aspect of my life. However, I don't want her to try to use anything I say about her, even if it's under a false name and protected identity, to say that I've been breaking the RO. Jake, the kids and I decided that since he spends so much time at my house and his place is essentially a storage unit that he would be moving in. And before anyone has anything to say about it being too fast, please know I have known Jake my entire life. That's not exaggerating. I've literally known him my entire life. I am comfortable and confident in this choice. Tyler is still a ghost and still has made 0 contact attempts. The kids are beautiful, loved and thriving. Sorry for it being so short and sweet, but life has been kicking my ass between sleep regression, lawyer meetings, court, work, and my older 2 extracurricular activities.
Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.